Welcome back to Radio Nation. We are now going to be joined by our next guest, Ladyee Mizae from Cincinnati, Ohio, and welcome.
How are you?
Thank you for joining us, and we apologize for the delay in the interview time. We kind of went a little overboard here with other interviews, and it took a little longer than we thought. But thank you for joining us, and it's been a much anticipated and a long-awaited because we wanted to do it, but it didn't happen. So thank you for joining us. For those who don't know, a rapper from Cincinnati, Ohio, originally really into poetry, and that spurred her question is, how did this, you were really into poetry when you were 8, and you got into rapping. How did this happen?
Well, when I was 13, I really got into more poetry and more rap because I was in chorus in, 7th grade, and I remember we had to do a project on, any kind of music artist. And I did it, I did music artist on her, and I guess that kind of inspired me to put poetry into something. And I started beats, from friends, and just messing around, and, expressing my thoughts and everything. And then, eventually that turned into me actually wanting to go into the studio and actually record some stuff,
Perfect. And that actually leads me to my next question, which you probably just answered anyway, which is, who's been the biggest influence as a music interest? Or I can't think of the term off the top of my head right now.
Well, actually, I do like Tupac, but it's kind of changed now. I kind of actually really favor Drake. I really like him a lot because, to me, he just expresses his feelings really strong. He puts them out on, his songs. He expresses his feelings really good. And it's like he paints a vivid picture of the lyrics. And that's kind of how a lot of emotion is Drake.
I guess a good Canadian boy up here. And, of course, I got to ask you, what has been the biggest challenge for you in your career as a musician and as a poet, I guess, too?
The biggest challenge, I would say, the biggest challenge would be for actually, and actually myself out there and, saying, I'm not going to show myself out here because, just and it's going to get you anywhere. The biggest challenge for me was actually, getting my lyrics and stuff together and going to the studio for the first time when I was, last year and last October, I went to the studio for the first time, and it was kind of I said that, and I'm I'm shy, and I did that. That was a challenge I overcame because I've always been a shy person.
Do you find poetry and expressing yourself lyrically has made you less shy of an individual, or has helped sort of take away the shyness in you?
Yes, I've noticed that, and also, when I'm venting, I can just sit down, you can give me a piece of paper and a pen, and I can just write some stuff, it's just whatever comes to my mind. That's my way of venting for me, and it's fell into a passion for me.
Now, I have to ask you then, what is exactly, what is the one sort of subject rapper write about in songs?
I would really have to say heartbreak and love. I have to go after that one all the time, that's the main one most people go through.
And being from Cincinnati, or from the Cincinnati, Ohio area, how hard is it for an artist to really sort of get themselves known? I mean, Ohio isn't exactly the most musically, it's not like Nashville or anything, but it still has talent of its own. It's just, how hard is it to sort of get your name out there, being from Ohio?
Oh, being from Ohio and, trying to get yourself out here is really hard. Not many people from Cincinnati, Ohio, and I think, you have the right attitude, the right dedication and passion to just put yourself out there. I mean, I just try to put myself out there as much as possible, and, once I, finish, redrop some of my songs, I'm going to start doing shows locally, but it's really, really hard out here because, everybody wants to, everybody has the same thing. It's nowadays everybody wants to be into music, but,
Now, that sort of leads me to another question then, which is, where do you see yourself going in the future, and I guess what does the future hold for yourself?
In the future, I guess I could see myself, my goal is to at least, make an album, make a hit song that everybody can, relate to or vibe to, at least something that, I want to see myself be successful and achieve my dreams, because this is a passion or a goal I've had, my whole life, is at least to do something with my life, and I knew I was always, meant for music, and I feel until I, fill this void in my life with my music, until I reach, my dreams, I feel that's what I'm here for. That's kind of what I feel like.
And you said you start going out to local venues in and around the Cincinnati area. How hard is it to really do that, or is it sort of easier now with social networking to just sort of say, hey, I'm going to be able to, I can come to this event, I can do that? What's that process sort of like?
Well, that's actually very easy, like, out here. Like, you just gotta know people, and, you know, you just hit them up that you wanna, you know, play. It's actually not that. I just haven't been, you know, playing at venues because I've been, you know, working on my songs, getting my songs up before I actually put myself out there. I did actually perform once at Club Cotton, and I performed there, and actually I was nervous because my first, I went up there and I did my thing, and it wasn't, you know, I realized something.
And, performing and sort of, I mean, obviously, you know, every artist here, do you beat to fit?
For me, it depends sometimes. I mean, like, sometimes the thoughts coming up to write them down, but other times I'm really emotional beat. As soon as I write, you know, what that beat is telling me, basically, it's like forcing the words out.
Now, that sort of leads me to another quiz. I don't know how to phrase this sort of, but like singing for and you've been doing the rapping thing. How difficult is it, you know, express yourself but not much swearing you use, but something to avoid when you're rapping, or is it something that you just kind of let your emotion take over, doesn't matter how much swearing?
Well, for me, I don't want to, you know, wear too much, you know, because I've got younger cousins, you know, that want to look up. You know, I just want to, you know, be an influence for some people. I try when I'm sometimes, some of that does tend to slide out, but I don't normally want to express, you know, those kind of feelings in a vulgar way. Do it like in a really deep way, but not in a way that, you know, does. Sometimes they come out, they do. Sometimes I admit, but you know, sometimes you can't help that. But I try not to.
And what is it like being obviously I'm not a female, but I mean, like, what is it like being a female rapper in a sort of an industry dominated by male rappers? What is that like?
For me, I think the industry really doesn't have, you know, any female. I mean, they're not going to come out, you know, themselves. You know what I'm saying? And it's really hard because, you know, if it's to a male, like, it's like the male will easily be signed. You know what I'm saying? But it's like really hard for a female, I guess, because, you know, what we want to rap about is just love, this and that, you know, but we have other things, you know what I'm saying? I see it, you know, like, Minaj, I really like a very decent rapper, and, you know, creativity for the female MCs, definitely brought up, you know, for the female MC that wants to come in.
Is there anything where we play your song and then part?
You guys check me out at Ladyee Mizae. Also check me out. XOCANDIIB. Yeah, check out my music. I'll be, you know, dropping some news. Be on the lookout for that. Be performing, and yeah.
Well, keep us there, and when you do get done all the stuff you are hoping to accomplish, we will send us a message, and we will get that stuff out on the air. Perfect. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. You too.
There you have it. That's Ladyee Mizae, and we're now going to play the song "Can't Back Down" by her. So here it is, "Can't Back Down."
Keep on going, you just gotta fight it. Keep on going, cause it's not too late. You can't back down. You can't back down. Keep on going, you just gotta fight it. Keep on going, you can't back down. You can't back down.
Time you can never get it back. Sometimes friends don't know how to act. Exes want your back and people try to bring it down, but you gotta keep it up, you gotta stand your ground. Nobody else can live your dream, only you can make it happen. My dream is right here rapping. Look into the mirror, I see a girl who has talent, who hid behind lights till she wants people to know that this is her path, this is where she should go. But back to life, we just running. My friend just texted me for the news today, said she had a baby boy and everything okay. Man, I just sit and pray and hope for the bright spring. Everybody always telling me I'm like, get that woman, it's a broken scene. I just wanna scream.
Keep on going, you got it, cause it's not too late. You can't back down. You can't back down. Keep on going, you just gotta fight it. Keep on going, cause it's never too late. Can't back down. Can't back down.
I fight my past, wishing old memories could last, but maybe it ended like that, cause it was a mishap. Trust is flexible till it snaps. Love is amble and its endeavors. A bunch of followers, where is the leaders? I'm speaking from a past that was disrupted. World turned gray, my dreams were corrupted. Nobody knew he'd done it, but my faith I had to run with. The pain is so intense when I sit and cry. I'm back where I started asking God why. Why, oh why? He didn't have control no more. I'm that beautiful girl, my body's a temple. The only if I touch each dream I can last time. Tears to cry. Short, one moment of success, it's worth a try. No matter how hard the road gonna get, can't stay living in the past with regret. It's never too late. They only want haters, ain't nothing like a good struggle. When push I mumble, I do this for me, standing on my own. Only 19, but I feel so grown. Single, but I don't feel alone. I push and shove for this, cause I put in all my love for this. Maybe it was the guy I said, was the people I met to put me on this journey that I ain't got finished yet.
Keep on going, you just gotta fight it. Keep on going, cause it's not too late. You can't back down. Oh, you just gotta fight. Never too late. You can't back down. You can't gotta fight it. Keep on, cause it's not too late. Back down. You can't back. Oh, you just gotta fight it. You can't back down.
Still walking on progress lane. That's nothing to lose again. Keep your head up, cause your strength is in your faith. I've been break, I've been through rape. I've been to hell and back, I've been unable to escape. But I looked up to God and He helped me get through. Struggle is never easy, but we gotta take one situation at a time and walk by a little more. Respect what we have, what comes our way.